and sing early, sing often this beautiful Shiru Ladonai that we're joining together in by Hazan Mike Stein.
Shabbat Shalom. Welcome to our Shabbat evening service. We love being with you from our living rooms to yours. For anyone who's joining us right now on the live stream on YouTube, we'd love to have you join us inside the Zoom room. We can have a little more intimate experience, so feel free to log off the live stream and join us on Zoom, and you'll find the link and password, the link on our website and the passwords in our emails. We are going to continue this evening with Lecha Dodi, which begins on page 23. We'll do the first paragraph, and then we'll jump ahead to the last paragraph on page 25, where we'll invite you to rise and face the door, the entranceway, to whatever room you're sitting in.
Baruch Hu, page 39A or 39B.
Beloved are you, eternal God, by whose design the evening falls, by whose command dimensions open up, and eons pass away, and stars spin in their orbits. You set the rhythms of day and night, the alternation of light and darkness, sings your creating word. In rising sun and in spreading dusk, creator of all, you are made manifest. Eternal, everlasting God, may we always be aware of your dominion. Beloved are you, Adonai, for this hour of nightfall.
Baruch atah Adonai Hamari Barabim. We continue Ahavat Olam, page 40. Yeah, la la la, yeah, la la la, la 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 la. Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha Ahavta. Torah u'mitzvot, Chukim u'mishpatim, Otani limadta. Aken Adonai Eloheinu, Yishorteinu u'kumeinu, Na'asiyah b'chukecha, v'nishma b'divrei Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. We continue silently, page 42. למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם, אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים, אני אדוני אלוהיכם, Adonai Elohechem Emet.
We'll turn to page 44, Micha Mocha.
If you don't know the words, just sing the Nigun. Continue with our version of Hashki Venu that we've been doing these last many months as we've been sheltering at home, and soon hopefully things will open up much more and we'll sing a different Hashkivenu. But for right now, shelter us in place. Shelter us in place. Shelter us in peace. Shelter us in love. Shelter us in love. Shelter us in place. Shelter us in peace. Shelter us in love. Shelter us in love. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkivenu Leshalom. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkivenu Leshalom. Shelter us in place. Shelter us in peace. Shelter us in love. Shelter us in love. Shelter us in peace. We continue the Shamru, page 46. Turn to Chatzi Kaddish, which I think is on the bottom of the page. If I'm not, I'm looking at a different piece of liturgy on from a different page. So I'm guessing, but I know you all know, and I know you will all sing this very traditional melody with me. Yikara ve'yikara shemei rabba amen. V'yamadi vrachirute v'yamlich malchute v'chayechonu v'yomechon v'chayedecho beit Yisrael. V'gala v'gala ובזמן קריב יאמרו אמן. יהי שמירה במברך, לעולם לעמי יתברך, יתברך וישתבח, ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה, ויתהלל, שמי קדושה בריחו, לעילם מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דמירן ועלמה, ואמרו amen.
We'll invite you to rise and take a little bit of time for personal prayer during the Amidah. The Amidah begins on page 47 and continues through page 52. And as usual, you should feel free to use this time to pray in Hebrew and English, or just whatever prayers come to mind and come to your heart. And we'll begin together with the first 6 words out loud.
Adonai Spotai Tiftach, Adonai Spotai Tiftach, Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha, Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha, Adonai Spatai Tiftach, Adonai Spatai Tiftach. Shalom, Bimrama,
want to take some time now and acknowledge those who are in need of some healing, in need of prayers for healing. We know that so many people, even as the pandemic begins to wind down, so many people are still suffering from COVID-19. People are suffering from other illnesses. People are suffering emotionally and spiritually from being shut in for a year plus. So for all of you who are in need of some healing, and for everyone who has someone in mind who you love who's in need of healing, we're thinking of you and we're holding you in our hearts as we join together for Rifa'enu.
Rifa'enu Adonai B'nai Raphael. God, only you can bring to healing, and so we pray. Baruch atah Adonai, Rofei Cholei, Amo Yisrael. Blessed are you, Shekhinah, restores our loved ones, heal our people, speedily in our day. And let us say, Amen.
This time of year and the next several months, I like to think of as our soul cleansing time in Jewish practice. We start with Passover in the middle of the Hebrew month of Nisan, where we do a literal cleanse. We clean out our homes, searching every nook and cranny for crumbs. We use all new products, different sets of dishes even. We kosher our kitchens. Some people might even say we go overboard a little bit on the cleaning for Passover. But if we can take a moment out of the cleaning, we can imagine that we're cleaning out our souls as well, searching every nook and cranny for things that we would like to improve about ourselves as we spiritually re-kosher ourselves. And then beginning on the second night of Passover, we start our next soul cleansing ritual, counting the Omer. So we're instructed to count the days, 49 days leading up to Shavuot, when we'll receive the Torah at Mount Sinai. The Omer traditionally represents barley offerings, actually, that were brought to the temple each day between Passover and Shavuot. But today we can think of the Omer really as spiritual preparation and just anticipation for the giving of the Torah. And in the midst of counting the Omer, we read Parashat Shmini this week, where we learn all about kashrut. We read several laws about what kinds of animals are permitted, which kinds of animals are forbidden for us to eat. And each of the verses that lists the animals we're forbidden to eat ends with the phrase, Tameh hu lachem. It is unclean for you. Not just that it's unclean for you. So from the for you, we know that kashrut's not for the sake of physical health. If it were, the Torah would just tell us which animals are tameh, unclean, and people shouldn't eat them, all people. But the Torah tells us that these animals are tameh hu lachem, unclean for us specifically, not for all people. They're unclean for us because abiding by God's system of kashrut is spiritually healthy for us. To return for a minute to the language of Passover and counting the Omer, kashrut helps us keep our souls clean. So whether it's Passover or counting the Omer or keeping kosher or something else that makes you feel spiritually clean, I want to take a moment for those of you who are on Zoom. I'd like you to think about what you do to cleanse your soul. What makes you feel refreshed and renewed, whether it's something religious or spiritual, something personal, emotional, physical. What is it for you that really makes you feel refreshed and renewed? If you have an answer, you can raise your hand, or unmute yourself, and I'm scrolling through to see. Clarissa.
Okay, so my mom also wants to say one. For me, there are two things. The first thing is, let's say I've got something that's been on my mind for a while, when I'm just able to say it, and then I just feel like a huge weight has been lifted and I feel like a new person. And then the second thing is, when you wake up early on like a cold morning and you go out on a fishing trip and you come back and you just feel so happy. And like, even if you didn't catch anything, you just feel like there was that experience that is now in your life and you're just so happy about it. And that applies to everything, but like, especially that for me makes me happy.
Beautiful. So, oh, go ahead. Yeah, Denise. Yeah.
Okay, well, for me, it's very simple. I just like being on the beach. Just walking on the beach. It doesn't have to be a hot day. It can be a cool day, but just looking on the beach and looking out, it's the best.
Beautiful. So sometimes it can be about being outside, whether it's a fishing trip you come back from that makes you feel refreshed, or being out on the beach in a beautiful setting. Or sometimes, I love this one, that there's something that's been on your mind and maybe you've been afraid to say it out loud for whatever reason, or you felt uncomfortable, or maybe sometimes you haven't even realized it was on your mind. Has that happened to you before? Something's in the back of your mind and you keep thinking, something's bothering me and I don't know what it is. And finally you realize it and you say it out loud. That moment, Clarissa, like you said, such a refreshing moment, really helps us feel renewed. Beautiful. Was there anyone else that I missed as I was scrolling through here who wanted to say something? Well, thank you to the Rasmussen family then for helping us understand how we can be refreshed and renewed. I'd like us to keep those refreshers in mind as we count the Omer this evening. So we are turning to count the Omer. If you haven't been keeping track, last night we counted the 12th day. So you'll add one and you'll know where we are for tonight. We are on page 63, I believe, for the blessing. And then we'll turn to page 65 for the actual counting.
So this melody is not traditional, but it is fairly new. And the tradition for the Omer is to rise. So if you are able to do so and you don't mind, it's going to be a little longer than normal, but you're going to learn a nigun, I hope. And we'll join together with. remain standing for Aleinu, which, by the way, is on page 56. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשר כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשמרות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו כהמונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוצר הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו וגב ככתוב בתורתך אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. היום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו
We're going to join together in just a minute for Mourner's Kaddish, and this week we are lovingly remembering the following yahrzeits: Hilaria Ruiz, Tilly Ann Garber, Barry Horwitz, Albert Harwin, Herman Bulavsky, Eliezer Fried, Reuben Goldstein, Selma Massman, Seymour Kamzen, Helene Westerman, Sam Axelrod, Albert Churi, Fran Kaufman, Rose Krifcher, Lloyd Farber, Rose Weissman, Albert Noah, Theodore Sachs, Paul Spiegel, Barbara Lichtman, Jean Mason, Manya Uberbaum, Rachel Schwartz, Saul Miller, Craig Lipkin, Jeffrey Swartz, Arlene Mandel, Samuel Sapir, Frank Singer, Lou Rivera, Abe Sedley, Louis Bookbinder, David Spiewak, Sarah Hurwitz, Max Riedel, Ronald Goodman, Bella Silvers, Naomi Weiss, Evan Gordon, Arlene Fredgant, Ruth Elgart, Jacqueline Rubin, Esther Weinberg, Stephen Cornrich, Louis Larea, Pearl Miskey, Ernest Rhodes, John Spice, Sylvia Wool, Sheldon Lavin, Michelle Roberts, and Ernest Greenberg. For anyone who's in a period of mourning or observing a yahrzeit, or anyone who has need or desire to recite Mourner's Kaddish, you can join with me, and we'll invite you to rise. If you're here with us on Zoom, you can unmute yourself. You won't be seen on screen. But please keep in mind to have the live stream off if you're doing that, so we don't hear an echo. But you can unmute yourself and join with me. Mourner's Kaddish is on page 58. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabah, ve'alma divra kirutei, ve'amlich malchutei, v'chayechon uvyomechon, u'chaye dechol beit Yisrael, va'agala u'vizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei Shmei Rabba Mivarach Leolam Ulamei Almaya. Yitbarach, Vishtabach, Vitpa'ar, Vitromam, Vitnase, Vithadar, Vitale, Vithalal, Shmed Kudsha, Brichu. Le'ela Mimko Birchata Vishirata, Tush Bechata Venechenata, Samiran Alma Vitmru, Amen. Yehei Shama Rabba Min Shemaya, V'chaim Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael V'imru, Amen. Shalom B'Romav. Hu Yaseh Shalom. Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael V'imru, Amen. We'll ask anyone who unmuted themselves to remute. We have some announcements for you this evening. So tomorrow morning, please join us for our live streamed Shabbat morning service at 10:30, where we'll be joined by our men's club for a special service to honor all the work they do for our community. Want to go to Jerusalem on Thursday night, virtually, of course? Our professional tour guide will be meeting us at 8 p.m. on Zoom to show us around the city in celebration of Yom HaAtzmaut. You'll need to register in advance to receive that Zoom link at templealiyah.org/Israel. Next Shabbat, we'll be celebrating the bar mitzvah of Bo Bilkis at our morning service and the bar mitzvah of Yoni Buchris at our mincha service. And Chazan Mimi will be back with her special sacred space service next Sunday morning. The Aliyah Grand Prix is so much more than a car race. There's still time to register and create a car. You can also show your support by being a sponsor, filling our stands with a fan cutout, voting for your favorite car, and even betting on whose cars will beat the clergy. The Aliyah Grand Prix replaces our gala as the biggest fundraising event of the year. So please show your support. Visit aliyahrules.com or look out for emails during the next few weeks. Most importantly, if you don't remember any of those other announcements, we want you to know that we're here for you. Our staff is continuing to work from home for the most part, but you can always contact us by email. You can find all of our email addresses on our website. We always want to be here for you if you're in need of any assistance during this challenging time. We are going to conclude our service now with Adon Olam.
Page 2, I think it's page 211. Since Yom HaAtzmaut is going to be happening this coming week, an Israeli version of Adon Olam. Adon Olam, Asher Lalav, B'terem Kol, Yitzir Nivra, Beit Nazar, Bechem Sokol, Azai Melech, Shemo Nivra, Acharei, Kiflot HaKol, everybody.